DE unauthorized scan. The vastness of space stretched endlessly before Captain Elena Reyes as she stood on the observation deck of the UES Horizon. Stars glimmered like scattered diamonds against the black canvas, each one holding the promise of worlds unknown. The Horizon, Earth's most advanced warship, cut through the void with barely a whisper, its sleek hull concealing power that humanity had spent decades perfecting. "Status report," Elena called, her voice calm but carrying the unmistakable edge of authority. Her dark eyes remained fixed on the viewport, studying the sector where Dr. Alvarez, what's your assessment? Elena asked. Isabella looked thoughtful. It could be a genuine cultural practice. Many species establish trust through information exchange, but we should be cautious about what information we share. Elena unmuted the transmission. Commander Vexnar, we will permit a limited scan as a gesture of goodwill. Our engineer will establish appropriate parameters. A wise decision, Vexnar replied. Elena nodded to Raj, who immediately began implementing Protocol Epsilon 7, a defensive measure designed to allow controlled scanning while shielding critical systems and feeding back carefully selected information. You may begin your scan, Commander, Elena said. A soft azure light washed over the bridge as the alien scan penetrated the ship. It lasted for exactly 42 seconds before terminating abruptly. On the screen, Commander Vexnar's demeanor changed visibly. The alien's large eyes widened, and its mouth opened slightly. For a moment, it seemed unable to speak. Is something wrong? Elena asked, noting the reaction with interest. Vexnar regained composure with visible effort. No, nothing is wrong. Scan complete. Thank you for your cooperation. Before Elena could respond, the transmission ended. The Centurion fleet immediately began moving away at high speed. They're retreating, Marcus said in disbelief. Elena frowned. Why? What did they see? Raj was checking his systems. Protocol Epsilon 7 worked as designed, Captain. They shouldn't have seen anything that would cause alarm. Isabella was studying her readings with growing concern. Captain, their scan was significantly more powerful than it appeared. It penetrated deeper than our countermeasures anticipated. How much did they see? Elena demanded. I can't be certain, Isabella admitted, but they likely glimpsed elements of our Helios drive configuration and possibly the shield matrix architecture. Elena stared at the retreating alien fleet, a cold certainty settling in her gut. The Centurion's abrupt departure wasn't about diplomatic protocol. It was about fear. But fear of what? Follow them, she decided. Maintain sensor distance, but don't lose them. Aye, Captain, Marcus acknowledged, setting the course. For 3 days, the Horizon shadowed the Centurion fleet as they traveled deeper into uncharted space. The aliens made no attempt to confront their pursuer, maintaining their hurried pace and occasionally altering course in what appeared to be evasive maneuvers. On the 4th day, they reached a densely populated star system. The Centurion ships dispersed, heading toward different planets. Which one do we follow? Marcus asked. Elena studied the sensor data. The flagship. Commander Vexnar's vessel. The Horizon tracked Vexnar's ship to a massive ringed planet with sprawling cities visible even from orbit. The alien vessel descended to the surface while the Horizon maintained position high above, engaging its advanced stealth systems. Scan the planet, Elena ordered. Isabella worked her instruments with practiced efficiency. Extensive civilization, Captain. Technology level comparable to ours, possibly superior in some areas. Multiple species detected. The Centurions appear to be the dominant population, but I'm reading at least 6 other distinct genetic patterns. A multi-species society, Elena mused. Or an empire, Marcus suggested grimly. Isabella looked up suddenly from her console. Captain, I'm detecting unusual communication patterns. Massive data transmissions across the planet, and to other worlds in their system. Can you decode any of it? Elena asked. Working on it, Isabella replied. After several minutes, she looked up with a troubled expression. It's fragmentary, but I'm seeing repeated references to human technology, unexpected capabilities, and a phrase that translates roughly as existential threat. Elena's eyes narrowed. They're afraid of us. But why? They saw something in our ship that frightened them, Raj said. Something they didn't expect. What's our next move, Captain? Marcus asked. Elena thought for a moment. We stay and observe. We learn. And we prepare. She turned to her communications officer. Lieutenant Park, prepare a secure transmission to Earth Command. They need to know what we found out here. As Elena stared down at the alien world below, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The Centurions had retreated today, but fear could drive beings to desperate action. Something tells me this isn't over, she said quietly. Whatever they saw in us frightened them enough to run, but fear leads to different responses. Like what? Isabella asked. Like trying to make friends with what you fear, Elena said. Or trying to destroy it before it destroys you. Far below, in the gleaming central spire of the Centurion capital city, Commander Vexnar stood before the High Council, the scanned data of the human warship displayed on massive holographic screens. The 7 council members stared at the information with expressions ranging from disbelief to outright terror. This cannot be accurate, High Chancellor Zivra said, his voice barely audible. The scan was thorough, Chancellor, Vexnar replied grimly. The data is correct. Science Minister Thelnar approached the display, her expert eyes analyzing every detail. These power readings defy our understanding of physics. Their shield technology is beyond anything we've developed. And their weapons. She fell silent, unable to complete the thought. How? Chancellor Zivra demanded. We have dominated 12 star systems. We have absorbed the technology of 7 species. None have developments that approach this level. Thelnar pointed to sections of the scan. Their approach is fundamentally different from ours. They've pursued paths of research we dismissed centuries ago as impractical. She swiped to another image. Their propulsion system operates on principles we've never even contemplated. You ran from a single ship, War Minister Corvell accused Vexnar, his face darkening to deep blue with anger. Vexnar stood tall. I made the logical choice. Our analysis indicates this single vessel could have destroyed our entire fleet with minimal effort. And now they know we exist. Corvell countered. And they know we're afraid. Chancellor Zivra rose from his throne and approached the window overlooking the capital. Towers of gleaming metal stretched toward the sky, a testament to Centurion dominance. 7 subjugated species provided resources, labor, and technological insights that maintained the collective's supremacy. How did they advance so quickly? He wondered aloud. Our last intelligence from that sector showed primitive technology. That information is nearly 60 cycles old, Thelnar noted. We've been focused on consolidating our current territories. Zivra nodded slowly, a critical oversight that could threaten everything they had built. Display the images of the human crew, he ordered. The screen changed to show Captain Elena Reyes on the bridge of the horizon. Additional images displayed other crew members at their stations. They look so ordinary, one council member commented. That is precisely what makes them dangerous, Zivra replied. They appear unremarkable, yet they have created technology that threatens our entire way of life. What are your orders, Chancellor? Vexnar asked. Zivra was silent for a long moment. Is the human ship still in our space? Yes, Vexnar confirmed, observing us. They believe we haven't detected them, but our deep space sensors can track their position. Zivra smiled thinly. Good. We have that advantage, at least. He paced the length of the chamber, thinking. We need time, he decided. Time to understand their technology. Time to develop countermeasures. And if they attack? Corvell asked. They won't, Zivra said confidently. Not yet. They're curious. They want to know why we retreated. We can use that curiosity. He turned to Thelnar. How long would you need to study their technology if given full access to their ship? The science minister considered. Half a cycle, at minimum. Their approach is fundamentally different from ours. Zivra nodded. Then we must gain that time. He faced the council. We will extend the hand of friendship to these humans. Offer them trade, cultural exchange, scientific cooperation. Vexnar looked shocked. Chancellor, are you suggesting an alliance with these humans? Of course not, Zivra snapped. It is merely a tactic. While our diplomats talk of peace and cooperation, our scientists will study their technology. Once we understand it, we can neutralize their advantage. And if we cannot match their technology quickly enough? Felnar asked, her tone troubled. Zivra's expression hardened. Then we must find other ways to defeat them. Every species has weaknesses. Perhaps humans rely too heavily on their technology. Perhaps they lack the will to use it effectively. We will find their vulnerability, and we will exploit it. He returned to his throne. Prepare a diplomatic message. Invite the human ship to send representatives to neutral space for talks. Make it seem sincere. What if they refuse? Vexnar asked. They won't, Zivra said with certainty. They are curious, and curiosity is a dangerous weakness. They will come. Unbeknownst to the Centurion High Council, their conversation was being monitored. Belina had authorized a covert operation the moment the Horizon entered orbit. A stealth shuttle had deployed to the surface, carrying a small team of Earth's best intelligence operatives. As the Council plotted, human ears were listening, and human eyes were watching. The trap was set. But who would be the hunter, and who would be the prey? The Risikoning. 3 days later, the Horizon received a transmission from the Centurion homeworld. Chancellor Zivra's face appeared on the view screen, his expression carefully composed into one of friendliness and openness. Greetings, Captain Rice of Earth. I am High Chancellor Zivra of the Centurion Collective. I wish to apologize for Commander Vexnar's abrupt departure during your initial encounter. There was an unfortunate misunderstanding. Alina's expression revealed nothing. No apology needed, Chancellor. We were simply concerned when your ships left so suddenly. Zivra smiled, the expression not quite reaching his eyes. A regrettable error in protocol. We would like to make amends by inviting you to a diplomatic meeting. A chance for our peoples to learn about each other. Lieutenant Commander Marcus, standing beside Alina, whispered, I don't trust this. Elena gave a slight nod to acknowledge she'd heard him. To Zivra, she said, that's a generous offer. Where would this meeting take place? There is a space station called Nexus Point in a neighboring system. It's neutral territory, used by various species for trade and diplomacy. Would that be acceptable? Elena pretended to consider. It could be. I would need to consult with my superiors. Zivra's smile didn't waver. Of course. Take all the time you need. We are eager to establish friendly relations with Earth. After the transmission ended, Elena turned to her senior officers gathered on the bridge. Thoughts? Trap, Raj stated flatly. Marcus nodded. Definitely. They were terrified of us yesterday. Now they want to be friends. I don't believe it. Isabella looked thoughtful. It could be genuine. Perhaps they realized their initial fear was exaggerated. Elena walked to the viewport, looking down at the alien world. No, Marcus and Raj are right. This is a trap, but not the kind we might expect. What do you mean? Marcus asked. They're not planning to attack us at this meeting, Elena explained. They want to study us, learn about our technology, find our weaknesses. Isabella nodded slowly. That makes sense. From what we've observed, the Centurions base their entire civilization on technological superiority. Our ship frightened them because it suggested we might be more advanced. So what do we do? Raj asked. Refuse the meeting. Elena turned back, a small smile forming. No, we accept. Raj raised his eyebrows in surprise. Why? Because it works both ways, Elena said. While they're studying us, We'll be studying them, and we have an advantage they don't know about." "What's that?" Isabella asked. Elena's smile widened slightly. "They only think they detected us in orbit. They don't know about our intelligence team that landed on the far side of their planet 2 days ago." Marcus's eyes widened. "You sent a team to the surface." "When?" "While you were all sleeping," Elena replied. "A small team, handpicked. They're gathering intelligence even as we speak. That's why you seemed so calm about being detected," Isabella realized. Elena nodded. "The Centurions think they're one step ahead of us. Let's keep them thinking that." She turned to her communications officer. "Lieutenant Park, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them everything we've learned and our plan to accept the diplomatic meeting." "And the intelligence team?" Marcus asked. "They'll continue their mission and rendezvous with us at Nexus Point," Elena said. "By then, we should know much more about what we're dealing with." On the planet below, Chancellor Zivra watched the human warship with calculating eyes. "They will accept," he told War Minister Corval confidently. "And when they do, their doom will be sealed." Little did he know that at that very moment, human eyes were watching him from much closer than he could imagine. Nexus Point Space Station hung in the darkness of space like a massive crystalline snowflake. Ships from different worlds docked at its many arms. At one end, the UES Horizon waited. At the opposite end, the Centurion diplomatic vessel had arrived 2 days earlier. Ambassador James Wu adjusted his formal uniform as he prepared to meet the Centurion representatives. Captain Elena Reyes stood nearby, watching the ambassador with careful eyes. "Remember," Elena said quietly, "they want something from us. Don't be too eager to give it." James nodded. He was an experienced diplomat with silver-streaked hair and alert eyes. "This isn't my first dance with aliens who have hidden motives, Captain." Security Chief Nadia Petrov checked her tactical display one final time. "My team is in position throughout the station. If the Centurions try anything, we'll know." The door to the meeting chamber slid open. 4 Centurions entered, led by a tall figure in flowing robes embroidered with complex patterns. "Ambassador Wu, Captain Reyes," the lead Centurion said smoothly. "I am Diplomat Tevlar. High Chancellor Zivra sends his warmest regards." James stepped forward with a practiced smile. "The pleasure is ours, Diplomat Tevlar. Earth looks forward to establishing friendly relations with the Centurion Collective." They all sat at a large round table. Attendants brought refreshments suitable for both species. "I must say," Tevlar began, "we are most impressed by your vessel, the Horizon. Such advanced technology in a species we had not yet encountered." Elena kept her expression neutral. "We're equally interested in learning about Centurion achievements. Your civilization spans several star systems, I understand." A flash of surprise crossed Tevlar's face before he could mask it. "You are well informed, Captain." "We try to be," Elena replied. For the next 3 hours, they discussed trade possibilities, cultural exchanges, and scientific cooperation. The Centurions seemed especially interested in joint research projects involving Earth's propulsion and shield technology. "Perhaps a tour of your vessel might help us understand how we could best work together," Tevlar suggested casually. James smiled diplomatically. "A wonderful idea. And we would be honored to tour your ships as well." Tevlar's smile flickered momentarily. "Of course, though our vessels are currently undergoing routine maintenance." "What a shame," Elena said. "Another time, perhaps." When the meeting ended, Nadia approached Elena as the Centurions left the chamber. "One of my team spotted a Centurion technician near the Horizon's docking port," she reported quietly. "He claimed to be checking station systems, but the station manager confirmed no such checks were scheduled." Elena nodded. "They're getting impatient. Have Raj doubled the security on all ship systems?" "Already done," Nadia confirmed. "And our special package?" "Being delivered as we speak," Nadia replied with a small smile. On the Centurion side of the station, Diplomat Tevlar met with a technician in a secure room. "Did you gain access to their ship?" Tevlar demanded. The technician shook his head. "Impossible. Their security is too tight. But I placed scanning devices nearby. We're getting some readings." "Not enough," Tevlar hissed. "Chancellor Zivra wants their technology. The diplomatic approach is taking too long." "There is another way," the technician suggested. "We've identified their chief engineer. He often visits the station's recreation area after his meetings, perhaps with the right conversation and the right incentives." Tevlar smiled. "Yes, make it happen." Raj Patel sat in the station's central garden, enjoying the artificial sunlight streaming through transparent ceiling panels. The space was designed to provide a comfortable environment for dozens of species, some areas arid and hot, others cool and humid. Raj had chosen a spot reminiscent of Earth's temperate zones. A Centurion sat down beside him. "You are from the Earth ship, yes?" "I am," Raj replied cautiously. "An engineer, I believe." Raj looked at the alien through narrowed eyes. "Who's asking?" "Just a fellow technician," the Centurion said. "I'm fascinated by different approaches to similar problems. Your ship's design is intriguing." Raj remained silent. "Especially your propulsion system," the Centurion continued. "We've never seen anything quite like it." "Is that so?" Raj said neutrally. "Perhaps we could discuss some technical details, engineer to engineer. We could make such an exchange personally beneficial." Raj smiled suddenly. "Sure. Let me tell you about our special work coils. They're made from a rare material we call." The Centurion leaned forward eagerly. "None of your business," Raj finished, standing up. "I know what you're doing, and it's not working. Good day." He walked away, leaving the frustrated Centurion sitting alone. In her quarters aboard the Horizon, Elena reviewed the data transmitted from the intelligence team on the Centurion homeworld. Commander Marcus and Dr. Alvarez joined her, their faces grim as they absorbed the information. "This confirms our suspicions," Elena said, setting down her tablet. "The Centurions have conquered 12 star systems by leveraging technological superiority." Marcus nodded. "And each conquered species is essentially enslaved, forced to provide resources and labor to the collective." "No wonder they were frightened by our ship," Isabella added. "We're the first potential threat to their way of life they've encountered in centuries." "There's more," Marcus said. "According to the data, their fleet is mobilizing despite these peace talks. They're preparing for war." Elena wasn't surprised. "How long do we have?" 3 days, maybe less," Isabella estimated. Elena nodded decisively. "Then we need to move to the next phase of our plan." The following day, Ambassador Wu met with Diplomat Tevlar again. The Centurion seemed tense, his silver-blue skin showing subtle mottling that human intelligence had identified as a sign of stress. "We have prepared a draft agreement," James said, sliding a tablet across the table. "A starting point for our future relationship." Tevlar glanced at it. "This is generous." "Earth believes in fair dealings," James replied smoothly. Tevlar forced a smile. "We will review it carefully. But perhaps we could expedite matters by beginning the technology exchange immediately. A show of good faith." James looked thoughtful. "Actually, Captain Rice has authorized me to extend an invitation. A small delegation of your scientists is welcome to visit the Horizon tomorrow. A brief tour of non-sensitive areas, of course." Tevlar's eyes widened. "That would be most acceptable." When James returned to the Horizon, Elena was waiting. They took the bait. Eagerly, the ambassador confirmed. "Good," Elena said. "Raj, is everything prepared?" The chief engineer nodded. "Just as you specified, Captain. They'll see exactly what we want them to see. Nothing more, nothing less." The next day, a delegation of 5 Centurion scientists arrived on the Horizon. Elena greeted them personally, along with Dr. Alvarez and Chief Engineer Patel. "Welcome aboard the UES Horizon," Elena said. We're honored to host representatives of the Centurion Collective. Lead scientist Melliver bowed slightly. The honor is ours, Captain. We are eager to learn about your impressive vessel. The tour began in the ship's main engineering section, or rather, a carefully constructed replica of it. The real engineering deck had been sealed off, accessible only to senior officers with special authorization. This is our primary propulsion system, Raj explained, gesturing to a massive pulsing core. The Helios drive uses controlled quantum fluctuations to generate momentum. The Centurion scientists took extensive notes and readings, their expressions betraying their excitement. What they didn't realize was that the Helios drive they were examining was a sophisticated decoy, impressive, but deliberately designed with subtle flaws and misdirections that would lead any attempting to replicate it down technological dead ends. As the tour continued, Alina received a private communication from Lieutenant Park. Captain, our intelligence team has successfully returned from the Centurion homeworld. They'd brought something you need to see immediately. Understood, Alina replied. I'll be there shortly. To the Centurion delegation, she said, please continue with Dr. Alvarez. I'm needed on the bridge. In her private ready room, Alina met with the leader of the intelligence team, Commander Alexei Volkov. His usually stoic face showed rare emotion. What did you find? Alina asked. Alexei placed a data crystal on her desk. Everything, Captain. Their fleet deployments, weapon specifications, but most importantly, this. He activated a holographic display showing what appeared to be massive facilities on several worlds. Slave labor camps. The Centurions don't just conquer. They systematically exploit. Any species with technology that might one day challenge them is particularly targeted. Alina's expression hardened. How many? Billions across 12 systems, Alexei reported grimly. And they've already begun preparations for containing humanity. Alina stood up, her decision made. Bring the ship to combat readiness. Quietly. What about the Centurion scientists currently on board? Alexei asked. Let them complete their tour. Let them see exactly what we want them to see. When the Centurion delegation returned to their vessel, they immediately transmitted their findings to the High Council. Chancellor Zivra reviewed the data with growing satisfaction. Their technology is impressive, Science Minister Thelnar admitted, but not beyond our comprehension. I've already identified several critical weaknesses in their propulsion system. Excellent, Zivra said. How soon can we neutralize their advantage? We need more data, Thelnar replied. But I believe we can disable their ships within 10 cycles. Too long, War Minister Korgel interjected. Our fleet is in position. The humans have lowered their guard. We should strike now. Zivra considered. You're right. We cannot risk allowing them to return to Earth. Send the signal. All ships will converge on Nexus Point. The human vessel will be disabled and captured. Their technology will become ours, and their species will join our collective in their proper place. Back on the horizon, Alina addressed her assembled senior officers. The Centurions are moving their fleet into position. They'll attack within hours. We should withdraw, Marcus suggested. Return to Earth. Prepare our defenses. No, Alina said firmly. If we run, they'll follow. We need to end this here, now. But Captain, Isabella objected. Their fleet outnumbers us 50-1. Alina smiled. Numbers aren't everything, Doctor. She turned to Raj. Is the Aegis system ready? The chief engineer nodded. Fully operational, Captain. They won't know what hit them. Good, Alina said. Battle stations, but no one fires unless I give the order. As predicted, the Centurion fleet arrived 3 hours later. 50 warships surrounded Nexus Point, their weapons trained on the lone Earth vessel. They're hailing us, Lieutenant Park reported. On screen, Alina ordered calmly. Chancellor Zivra's face appeared. Any pretense of friendliness was gone, replaced by cold determination. Captain Reyes, he said, your vessel is surrounded. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and you will be destroyed. Elena sat forward in her command chair. Chancellor, I think there's been a misunderstanding. We came in peace. Peace is achieved through proper hierarchy, Zivra replied. Humanity will join the collective. Your technology will serve us. This is the natural order. I see, Elena said. And if we refuse? Look around you, Captain. You have one ship. We have 50. Your choice is simple. Surrender or die. Elena nodded thoughtfully. Those are indeed the options, Chancellor. But I think you've assigned them to the wrong parties. She leaned forward. We know everything. About your conquered worlds, your slave labor camps, your plans to subjugate Earth. We've known since before you invited us to Nexus Point. Zivra's confidence faltered momentarily. Impossible. The tour we gave your scientists, a carefully constructed illusion. The technology they scanned, decoys designed to mislead. You see, Chancellor, humanity learned a painful lesson centuries ago. True strength lies not in showing your power, but in concealing it until the moment it's needed. Elena stood. This is your only warning. Withdraw your fleet and return to your territory. We will establish a boundary. Cross it, and there will be consequences. Zivrad's face darkened with rage. You dare threaten the Centurion Collective. All ships, open fire. The Centurion fleet unleashed a devastating barrage. Energy beams and projectiles converged on the horizon from all directions. Yet when the fusillade cleared, the Earth ship remained untouched, surrounded by a faintly shimmering field of energy. What is this? Zivra demanded, his composure shattered. The Aegis system, Elena explained calmly. A defensive technology you didn't see during your scans. It doesn't just block attacks, it absorbs their energy and redirects it. She nodded to Raj, who activated a sequence on his console. Around the horizon, space itself seemed to ripple. From the ship, dozens of small objects suddenly materialized, previously hidden by advanced cloaking technology. They shot toward the Centurion vessels at impossible speeds. We came prepared, Chancellor, Elena continued. Those are autonomous defense platforms. Each one carries enough firepower to disable a capital ship without destroying it. One by one, the Centurion vessels lost power, their weapons and engines disabled by precisely targeted energy pulses. Impossible, Zivra whispered, watching his mighty